Parshas Kedoshim is a parsha full of mitzvahs, so many mitzvahs in this parsha. One of the mitzvahs, B'tzedek Tishbeit Amisecha, 3 words, but such a big mitzvah, B'tzedek Tishbeit Amisecha. We all know that this is the mitzvah, that we have to always judge our friend favorably. Whenever we see somebody doing something, we should always immediately not assume the worst, but we should try and assume the best. B'tzedek Tishbeit Amisecha, the Chafetz Chaim counts it as one of the lavim that a person is over when he speaks Lashon Hara, because if he would always seek the good, always seek the positive, then he wouldn't come to Lashon Hara. The truth is that the Meini HaMitzvahs, for example, the Rambam, when he counts this mitzvah, he doesn't count it as a separate mitzvah, he counts it together with another mitzvah which is learned from the same pasuk. B'tzedek Tishbeit HaMitzvah, says the Rambam, shetzivonu l'chol hadayanim l'hashriz ben balei dinim, like we know from the Mishnayos and the Gemaras in Sanhedrin and other places, that when 2 people come to judge in front of a bezdin, they have to look at them both equally, not to show favoritism to one side over the other side. That's B'tzedek Tishbeit HaMitzvah. It's a mitzvah to bezdin. And the Rambam writes at the end that we also learn from here, it's also koilel, that when a person looks at his friend, he should always judge him l'kaf schus, always in a favorable light. Same with Rabbeinu Yonah and other people, other mechabrim, who counted the mitzvahs. They counted it as one mitzvah, 2 parts of the same mitzvah. Rav Pam in Atar L'Melech, he points out that we can learn a lot from the fact that the Torah didn't give 2 separate mitzvahs, one for Bezdin and one for every person. It's actually 2 parts of the same type of mitzvah, and there's a lot of similarities between what the Torah demands of a dayan to be honest and to be fair when he's judging between 2 people, and when every person, when he judges his friend's actions, to judge it favorably. And one example that he gives is the word tishbait. And from the word tishbait, we can learn a few different ideas from the fact that the Torah says tishbait from the word mishpat, of a judgment. For a dayan, it's understood why it's a judgment. But when I see my friend going into McDonald's and I say, oh, he's probably going to eat a cheeseburger, so the word judgment doesn't really fit that. I decided that he's probably doing something wrong, and I didn't decide that he's probably just going in to have a cup of water. Why is it called tishbait? And Rav Pam says as follows: we know that when the Dayanim are judging, the Gemara says that it has to be so clear, the judgment, the Chazal used 2 different Lashonos. One Lashon, Imri, Emer l'chachma chosyef, from the Pasuk in Mishlei, another Pasuk in Yirmiyah, from the Pasuk, Dinei la Baiker Mishpat. So that should be like a choscha and like Baiker, and that we know the famous Chazal, that has to be so clear, the Psak Halach has to be so clear, just like every person knows that a sister is usher on a brother and a sister is usher to marry each other. That it has to be so clear, the halacha that you're paskening. And Baiker, just as everybody understands that now it's night, now it's day, there's no suffix, is it night outside or is it day outside? Just look outside and see. That's how clear you have to be before you pass judgment in Bezdin, says Rav Pam. If we take this and equate it to the other part of the mitzvah of judging our friends favorably, how careful we have to be when we're looking at our friend. We say, oh, probably, no, not probably. Are you sure? Are you so sure that that's what he's doing? Are you so sure that this is the reasons for his action, just like it's day outside? Is that how sure you are? If not, you're not allowed to say it, and you're not allowed to think it. And more so, even if you're sure of what he's doing, are you sure that that's really an aver? Are you sure that's really usher what he's doing? Maybe what he's doing is mutter. Maybe you don't know the halacha. Maybe you think he's violating halacha. Maybe he's not even violating halacha. We learned that from the word tishbait, that you have to be so sure that what he's doing is that before you pass judgment, you have to be so clear and so sure. And another point Rav Pam says that we know that if a person judges his friend favorably, then HaKadosh Baruch Hu judges him favorably. He says that also comes from the word tishbait. You are passing judgment not only on him, you're passing judgment on yourself. And he brings the famous example of Nasan HaNavi and David HaMelech, because we always are quick to judge other people in an unfavorable light, but ourselves, no, we always do everything fine. We're the most ideal person. I'm the most ideal person in the world. When David HaMelech took Bathsheba, it's a very big discussion. In one place the Gemara says that it wasn't even a chet. Other places it seems like maybe there was. In fact, in this Gemara as well, the Gemara says that Nasan HaNavi came, and not the Gemara, the Navi itself, in the Navi in Shmuel, Parak Yud Beis, Shmuel Beis, Parak Yud Beis, so Navi comes, and he says, I have a theoretical question for you. What's the theoretical question? There once was a rich man, and he had everything he needed, and there was a poor man, he had nothing, and the poor man was left at the end of the day with only one one small lamb that was the only thing he had left. And one day the big man was making a party and he didn't have enough meat, so he took the lamb that belonged to the poor man and he took it. What do you think? What should we do with this guy? And David got so upset. Wow, that's so terrible. How could a person be so evil? A person be insensitive, steals the last bit. I think he should kill the person. Look in the Navi, it says, Ben Mavas Haish. And Nosson look at David Melech says, and you? So when a person starts thinking about other people in an unfavorable light, then he realizes that things that he did himself, also he did improperly. That's what it means. B'tzedek tishpeit am yisecha. Be very careful when judging other people, because in fact, when a person judges other people unfavorably, really, it can reflect back on him. Like we know, a person judges on the opposite. If a person does judge his friend, b'tzedek tishpeit am yisecha, then even 1 out of 1,000, like the pasuk says in Iyov, HaKadosh Baruch Hu looks at the one schus that the person has against the 999, and like Chazal say, even if it's one of a malach, Rabbi Elazar says, Rabbi Elazar ben Rabbi Seglili says, even in the 1,000 malachim that are trying to say bad things about a person, but in one malach, there's 999 stadim bad, and that one, even in that one malach, he says, I have 999 reasons to think that this person deserves a punishment, but there's one reason, maybe not. HaKadosh Baruch Hu looks at that one reason. Why? He's not tricking himself. Because as long as there's one point, but if the person himself is that type of person who always looks for the good, so HaKadosh Baruch Hu and him always looks at the good. B'tzedek tishpeit am yisecha, especially during the time of Sfira, the time of the Avelus of the Talmidei Rabbi Akiva, that they weren't Nei Kavod Zelzeh, whatever that means, on their level, the great Talmidim of Rabbi Akiva were missing this idea of finding the point in their friends, to show them honor, to be able to honor their friends. Every person has a tzad hatoiv, every person has a tzad hakavod, that we can be mechaved other people, we can honor other people, we can show respect to other people, especially during these times of Sfiras HaOmer. B'tzedek tishpeit am yisecha. Good Shabbos. Please don't forget to subscribe. You'll get the video every week by subscribing. Put a like. Thank you very much. Good Shabbos.